Ah!
Tatsuki, what happened?
Save me, Mikoto!
What on earth is going on?
I saw it! I saw it!
Saw what?
That thing!
I can't see what you're talking about, so can you please be more clear?
You know what I'm talking about! The most dreaded bug in the house! It starts with a C!
Oh, I see.
Ah! Seriously, I can't deal with it!
I'm pretty sure we have a fly swatter somewhere, right? I think we stored it in the closet.
Please, I'm begging you, take care of it now!
Tatsuki, isn't it about time you can do things on your own?
No, but bugs that have so many legs are my biggest fear. No way!
Okay, fine. I guess I don't have a choice. Just wait right here, I'll go take care of it.
Thank you! I knew I could count on you!
Yeah. My name is Mikoto Ito. I'm a 32-year-old part-time housewife. I got a job at MoniRobo Trading Company straight after graduating college, and it's been about 8 years since I've been working in the accounting department. Last year, I was appointed chief of my department, and I've been working hard every day to make sure I don't let my bosses down. And this is my husband Tatsuki. He's 3 years younger than me and 29 years old. We work for the same company, and after 2 years of dating, we are happily married. He is a software engineer in the system development department. We met at a work happy hour event for people in different departments to meet one another. The two of us hit it off immediately, and that brings us to today. Tatsuki hates bugs of all kinds. Anytime we see a cockroach or a spider in the house, I would have to take care of it or try to shoo it outside in some way. Tatsuki, it's finished.
Thank you! Seriously, you're a lifesaver!
I guess there are even some men who are afraid of bugs.
Of course there are! Everyone in my family hates bugs, you know?
I see. Well, I guess I can understand where you get it from then.
When I got up out of bed, then I headed toward the kitchen to try and get some water.
You found that little brown thing along the way.
Correct!
Maybe I should teach you how to get rid of the cockroaches when you see one.
Come on, give me a break. In return, I've been helping out around the house, haven't I?
I suppose that's true too.
Anyway, today is the long-awaited weekend. The rays of sunshine that trickle into our room through the curtains are so beautiful.
What the heck was that? Are you trying to quote Shakespeare?
I was in the acting club when I was in school, after all.
I would love to see you acting sometime, Tatsuki.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to become an actor.
That's nothing to be ashamed of. You got a great job now and have been performing well at work.
Do you know how hard it is to be a system engineer? The development of proprietary internal systems and the maintenance of them is really tough.
Well, thanks to your hard work, I'm able to do my job of protecting the company money. I'm always grateful. Thank you, honey.
You're very welcome.
Since it's a day off, should we go to the cafe for the breakfast set?
Agreed. I want to eat some Komoda coffee sweet bean toast.
Tatsuki, you really like sweets, don't you, lol?
Now that it's decided, I need to change out of my pajamas and into regular clothes. I'm gonna be ready in 40 seconds.
I feel like I've heard that line somewhere before. Just like this, my husband and I always got along well. We almost never fight, and we often go out on dates and are lovey-dovey with each other, both in and out of the house. We're both nearing our 30s, so it is slightly embarrassing. Despite working at the same company, our working hours are all over the place. The accounting department is usually able to go home on time within working hours. However, we're right in the thick of our busy season, so lately I've been working quite a bit of overtime late into the night. As for Tatsuki, his department has also been overstaffed, so anytime there is a system issue or they need some troubleshooting, he's pressured to work much longer hours than me. I've heard that they've been trying to hire someone and alleviate the workload, but still. You're always working so hard. I appreciate you. Thank you. We promised each other to never forget a sense of gratitude, and the two of us were enjoying our morning breakfast sets at the nearby cafe.
Sorry, Mikoto. I don't think I'll be able to go to that lunch like I promised.
What's wrong? Did something happen?
Actually, we have a new hire on the team today. Finally, but I've been put in charge of teaching her everything, so I'm stuck with her.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about this.
I'm sorry it took me a while to tell you. Lately, I've just been so exhausted and overworked that I haven't been able to talk to you at all.
Don't worry about it. I know you're working hard.
Even though she has experience and she was recruited, we still have a lot of manuals and stuff like that, you know?
Well, and the system development department is always super busy, isn't it?
That's why, as her senior colleague, I have to keep an eye on her.
I totally understand. I also have to train the new hires every year, so I get it.
You are the chief of the accounting department after all.
I just support my boss while I have a staring contest with numbers every day. Lol.
Same here.
We can reschedule lunch to another time.
I'm really sorry about this. I have to take my lunch break with the newbie too, so I'll just go buy something at the convenience store in the building.
Got it.
Oh, but you're more than welcome to go and eat outside the office, you know? Don't hold back for me. That new cafe on the back road that we were going to go to looks really great.
Well then, if you insist.
In return, I'll reserve a really nice restaurant for your birthday.
You don't have to do that much, lol.
I hope you're excited about it. I promise it'll be great.
From that day, I started seeing Tatsuki less and less at work. At home, though, he was the same as usual, and he would help around the house with cleaning, laundry, even cooking sometimes. But something seems off. Ever since we started living together, he would help around the house here and there, but lately he seemed extra invested and proactive. I couldn't put my finger on it, but something was different from before. He's been working a lot of overtime, so he should be really tired. I wonder if he's okay. I was feeling unsettled inside as I kept an eye on him.
Miss Ito.
Mr. Suzuki, is something the matter? Could it be incomplete documents?
Don't worry, Miss Ito. Your work is always perfect.
Oh, don't try to flatter me, Mr. Suzuki. It won't change anything.
I'm not flattering you. I've been very impressed by your work since you became the chief of our department.
Thank you for your kind words.
Anyway, it's about, that husband of yours in the system development department.
You mean Tatsuki?
Ah, yes, it's about Tatsuki Ito. He says that he is not feeling well, so he's gonna leave work early today, and I was asked to pass along the message.
He contacted you, my boss? He could have just messaged me.
Apparently, he got a sudden sharp pain in his stomach, so maybe he thought that it would be quicker to use the work phone than to type a message on his cell phone.
I was at the bank until earlier, so I haven't been checking my messages.
Don't worry, I told him that as well.
He seemed perfectly fine this morning, though.
Since you are his wife, maybe he wanted to tell you just in case?
Yes, of course. But we also had plans to take our lunch break together, so...
In that case, how thoughtful of him to make sure he contacted you. Looks like you've got a pretty good husband.
Thank you very much.
Miss Ito, make sure that you're getting good rest on your days off too. If you collapse from working too hard, then that would be counterproductive, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, Mr. Suzuki. I am very lucky to be working under you. After being complimented by my boss that I respected a lot, I took a quick lunch break and focused on my work for the rest of the afternoon. Since the busy season had already passed, my workload had calmed down quite a bit. I was able to pack up at the end of office hours on the dot, and without stopping anywhere on the way home, I went straight back to my house. However, did Tatsuki go to the hospital? It's so quiet in the house. Maybe he's asleep already. He always says he can't take medicine because it tastes so gross. He's always like a child, so I'm sure he hasn't taken anything from the pharmacy either. There's someone in the bedroom? Oh, and I can hear voices speaking. Tatsuki?
Mayura?
Oh, Tatsuki, you're too much of an animal. I think I've reached my limit.
Oh, I'm only just getting started.
What? How many times are you planning on doing it?
5 times at least.
Oh my! You're so horny, Tatsuki.
You like it too, don't you, Mayura?
I love you and your sex drive, Tatsuki.
And our body chemistry is outstanding too.
But hey, what about your wife? Isn't the busy period over already?
She usually stops at the grocery store or the bakery on the way home, so there's no need to worry. Let's stop wasting time.
Well, if you say so.
Anyway, here we go for round 3.
What the hell are those two doing? My eyes burned from the scene in front of me, and I could feel myself on the verge of going crazy. I was worried about my husband's well-being and ran straight home from the office, only to find a 100% healthy Tatsuki having the time of his life on top of our bed with a woman I've never seen before. Calm down, Mikoto Ito. Instead of losing your mind like a monster right now, you need to think calmly and logically. I took a few deep breaths and grabbed whatever heavy furniture that I could from the living room and placed them in front of the bedroom door. This way, they can't escape. Next, I need to record the conversation. It makes me want to vomit. 30 minutes later.
Phew, okay, maybe we can take a break now.
Aw, Tatsuki, I don't know where you get all of this stamina from. I can barely keep up.
But you liked it, didn't you?
You meanie.
Anyway, I'm getting thirsty.
I want some juice.
There should be some lemonade that Mikoto had bought. I'll go and pour you some and bring it back.
Thanks.
Huh? The door won't open. I'm pretty sure the room didn't have a lock.
Oh, are you having some trouble in there, Mr. Tatsuki Ito?
Mikoto?
I'm home.
Didn't you stop somewhere on the way home from work like you normally do?
Oh, did you forget what you did already? You went through my boss to inform me that you would be leaving work early.
Yeah.
Now, my beloved husband isn't feeling well, so what would I do as his loving wife? Obviously, I wouldn't go anywhere and come straight home to check on you. And here I was thinking that I was going to come home and make you some porridge and take care of you. But would you care to explain the situation for me, please?
She's just looking after me.
As if I'm going to accept any excuses at this point. I've already recorded everything on the voice recorder app.
When did you come home?
I suppose if you were that into whatever it was that you were doing, you wouldn't hear my footsteps coming in.
Damn it.
Tatsuki, who are you talking to over there? A ghost?
Maida, stay over there.
What do you mean? Don't treat me like a dog. Nice to meet you. Huh? Who are you? I'm Tatsuki Ito's wife, Mikoto. What? You're home already? I heard that my husband left work because he was sick, so I came straight home without doing any shopping. Tatsuki! That's not what you told me!
How was I supposed to know?
This is the worst. Now she knows about us.
Anyway, can you just open the door already?
Nope. Unless you can promise me that we're going to speak face to face like two adults, I'm not letting you out of there.
Damn it!
You can kick it all you want, but it's not going to move. There are a lot of heavy things piled together out here.
When did you even do this? You're a monster.
I may be a regular office worker now, but in college I was actually on the weightlifting team.
Shoot, that's right. I forgot.
I was working hard back then, so I still got some of those muscles on me.
Fine, I get it. We can talk and you'll be happy, right?
Tatsuki and this woman he was cheating on me with, named Myra, shuffled their clothes back on, so I put the chairs and other furniture back to their place and opened up the doorway. Myra was very youthful, and she looked like she was at least 5 years younger than me. The three of us sat down in the living room with Myra and Tatsuki facing me. I asked them to explain themselves. So, Miss Myra, you studied programming at a vocational school, then you got a job at a small to medium enterprise and have been working for a few years, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I was starting to think that I wanted to change jobs. Then I found out that MoniRobo Trading Company was hiring, so I applied and I got in.
That baby voice of hers is so piercing and irritating.
Mr. Tatsuki was my senior colleague in the system development department, and as he was helping me and teaching me about the job, the more we started to work together, the more our hearts became one and we fell in love.
So that's why you're helping out a lot more around the house, to hide your affair. Thank you for telling me.
Maida is super cute. I mean, look at her. Her grandfather on her dad's side is from Sweden.
And?
She doesn't even compare against someone like you, with the standard Japanese face and body.
There's no use trying to insult me now.
Damn it, it's so annoying how you try to act so mature all the time.
But Tatsuki, why? Why would you do something like this?
Because I thought an older woman might be able to serve me and take care of me.
We were that close. We got along so well.
You should just be grateful that I even married you in the first place, because a woman of your ripe age would probably never find a partner otherwise.
Ripe age? Lol, that's pretty harsh.
Compared to that, Maida is 25 years old, and to me, she's an amazing girl, you know?
How sweet.
Instead of staying married to you, I'd rather be with her. And eventually, I even want to have kids with her, too.
Slow down, Tiger. Lol.
That's true. I am 32 years old, and to you, I may be an old lady.
There's no maybe, you are.
Now I know how you really feel. I'm just about ready to explode. Let's get a divorce.
Wait, really? Are you sure?
Of course.
You're an old lady past the age of 30. You might not have any other chances.
But you want to be with Miss Myra, right? Then what is there to even think about?
Maida, we can officially be a couple now.
Really?
Now we don't have to hide our love for each other anymore.
Yay!
As for the next steps...
No, I'll be taking this apartment and all the furniture in it.
Excuse me?
I am the main moneymaker of this household, so isn't that a given?
Yeah, that's right. An old lady of a ripe age would look much better in a run-down apartment, lol.
It was 2 against 1, and there wasn't much that I could say. It's not that I couldn't say anything out of spite, I was just too tired to entertain them. Even though Tatsuki himself is turning 30 next year. It's only a 3-year difference. Who is he calling an old lady? Give me back all of the time and the energy that I wasted on this piece of crap. From there, I slowly but surely started my plan to get revenge. Instead of showing any guilt or remorse, Tatsuki decided to show me his poor attitude, and my feelings for him disappeared in an instant. He'll be taking the apartment? What a joke! As if I would ever let him have it, that cheating bastard!
Mikoto!
Sorry, who is this?
It's me, your husband, Tatsuki!
Oh yes, my former husband Tatsuki Ito.
Former?
We both signed the divorce papers a week ago, didn't we? I turned those in yesterday for us.
What?
Why are you acting so surprised? You agreed and signed, didn't you?
How dare you do something behind my back while I'm not home?
I timed it perfectly with your Hot Springs holiday with Miss Myra, and I turned it into the city clerk's office already.
Why would you do that without telling me?
You signed it, of course I'm going to turn it in.
Take it back immediately.
And why should I do that?
I broke up with Maida.
Huh?
It turns out that she had a lot of men other than me, and among them was someone who's also married.
Oh dear, what a situation.
And that's when she was fired from her last job because the company found out about all of her affairs. And that's why she got a job at MoniRobo Trading Company, in order to pay for all the settlement fees.
Our company is known for a good salary, isn't it?
At the resort that we had reserved, Maida's ex-boyfriend was waiting there to ambush us, and the holiday turned into a full-on battlefield.
Aw, poor you.
We somehow managed to settle it, but Maida and I got into a screaming argument.
So you got into a little fight and broke up.
I'm exhausted, so I was hoping to come home so I could sleep, but the key wasn't working, so that's why I'm calling you.
That's too bad. I've changed the locks in the apartment already.
What?
And I guess I'll tell you this too. I'm the one that told the ex-boyfriend where you guys would be staying on your holiday.
You've gotta be kidding me!
Tatsuki, you're so dumb. You threw away your holiday brochure in the bedroom trash can. And you had beautifully circled your resort with a red marker. And if you're wondering how I was able to get in touch with her ex-boyfriend, it's because one of the many men that Myra had been sleeping with was actually someone I went to high school with.
Huh?
Apparently, he had been working so hard his whole life that he never had any luck with relationships, so he had submitted to a dating site. The more digging I did on her, I eventually found out that she was connected to him.
I see.
I also found out that Myra is quite the scam artist with marriages herself.
Marriage scams?
She was making multiple marriage registrations and collecting money from men left and right.
How is this possible? Maida and I were in love!
Looks like she was good in bed, but even better at lying. She pretended like she was getting a job to actually work, but instead just looking for another source of money. And you were her unlucky victim. So sorry for your loss, lol. On the other end of the phone, Tatsuki started throwing a tantrum like a child. I wasn't surprised at all. After all, he was deceived by a woman that he thought he loved and loved him back, when in reality, she was just using him for money. Honestly, I don't have an ounce of sympathy for him at all. Oh, and by the way, that apartment isn't yours anymore. I inherited it from my father, so it's property under my name.
But when we got married, I thought it became mine.
Are you stupid? We talked about it when we submitted our marriage papers, don't you remember? You agreed that you would let me manage everything about the apartment.
Ah!
Now that we're divorced, you're nothing but a stranger to me, but I'll be waiting for the settlement fee. I'm expecting it to be paid in full, all at once.
That's impossible! I spent all of my savings on Maida. I don't even have a penny left. What am I supposed to do?
That's not my problem.
Even my salary, it all disappeared into her hands.
Until you cheated on me, we had split all of our living expenses evenly, but that explains why you weren't depositing anything into the joint account.
Hey, can we just start over, you and me?
Excuse me?
Until I get my savings back in order, I promise I'll do all the chores around the house. What do you say? It's the least that I can do, I know.
It's going to be a hard no for me.
Why not?
Talking down to me and calling me an old lady of a ripe age? You really think that I'm going to take you back after that?
Well, that was.
And even about having kids. You were the one that said you wanted to spend time as a couple before we thought about having children.
Yeah, but.
I also wanted to continue climbing up in my career, so at the time I agreed with you.
Well, you know, people can have a change of heart all the time.
That certainly doesn't make it okay to have an affair, now does it?
Yes, that is correct.
You said that they have to do an entire restructuring of the system development department, so you wanted to wait another year or two. Did you forget that?
Mikoto, I'm sorry.
Don't worry, I've notified our bosses about the situation already in detail. I can only imagine you won't be at MoniRobo Trading Company for much longer.
What?
Anyway, now that you understand the whole situation, you can hurry up and pack your things out of this apartment. That is, if you don't want to be arrested for trespassing.
No!
Oh, and for what it's worth, being of a ripe age means that I'm in my prime. Thank you very much.
I'm so sorry, please forgive me!
You should know that someday you're gonna become an old man too. I hope you regret what you've done for the rest of your life. Goodbye. Tatsuki and Myra's adultery got around the office very quickly, and the boss of the system development department was livid. If you're not serious about your work, get out, he said. The next day, they were both fired. As for Myra, she was a scam artist who had fooled many, many men. My friend from high school was already building a case against her, and with our combined evidence, she was arrested and charged. If you're wondering what she was using the scammed money on, she knew that she had committed multiple crimes, so she was planning on getting full-body plastic surgery and running away. She was, of course, disowned by her family, and I'm sure a lonely life will be waiting for her after her release. In some ways, Tatsuki was also a victim, but to me, he was just as guilty. I hired a strong female lawyer to help me make sure he takes responsibility for what he had done. This should be plenty of evidence. Well done. Even if this were to go to court, I don't see any way in which you wouldn't win. I'm so glad. I'm sorry you had to go through all of that. From a man's point of view, is an older woman just a way out for them? No, I don't think that's the case. My husband is actually 10 years younger than me.
Wow, really?
We got married when I was 35 and he was 25. We met when he was job searching after graduating college, and he came into my office for an interview.
Aww.
I specialize in divorce settlement, whereas my husband is specialized in internet bullying, so our departments are different, but since we've been at the same company for a long time, we've been able to support each other throughout.
That's amazing. What a dream. You two are the ideal couple.
Don't worry, I have no doubt that there's a wonderful and worthy person waiting for you out there.
Thank you.
But first, make sure you take some time for yourself to heal.
She is blinding. She shines brighter than a Broadway star on center stage.
Of course, Tatsuki became unemployed, so he wasn't able to pay the settlement fee at once. He's currently working a part-time job and living paycheck to paycheck, somewhere in a tiny run-down apartment.
If this is what my life is going to become, I never should have cheated.
Hey!
Ah!
I don't care if you were a software engineer or whatever it was before. If you're taking too long to learn how to do this job, you won't be working here anymore either.
That's a little excessive, don't you think?
Oh, I'm sorry, but who was the one who came crying here, begging for a job because they had bills and fees to pay? I feel sorry for your ex-wife, being cheated on by a loser like you.
That has nothing to do with this.
Stop complaining and move your butt!
Someone, anyone, please come save me!
On the other hand, woo! Nothing beats an ice-cold beer. I can feel the stress releasing with every sip.
Miss Ito, it's not good to drink too much, though.
This is a special occasion. Maybe we can look the other way, just for today?
I'm just worried about you as your boss.
These are celebratory drinks for surpassing record sales. Why not? We deserve it! Mr. Suzuki, even if it's just a vodka soda, whatever it is, let's drink tonight.
Sure.
You know, I'm fine with being an old lady in her 30s. He may have made fun of me by saying I'm a ripe age, but my life is in my hands.
I know how you feel, but take it easy.
Don't worry, I got this.
Huh?
I may be divorced and failed in my personal life, but I will follow you no matter what and put my all into work for you, Mr. Suzuki. I look forward to continue working with you, together.
I can't tell if she's genuinely that excited or just drunk.
Now, what should we eat? An appetizer that would go well with beer. I got it, fried chicken it is.
You know, it's that bright and positive energy of yours that always saves me at work.
I was too tipsy to hear what Mr. Suzuki was saying under his breath, but what those words led us to will be a story for another time. He's a shy and quiet person, but he's an amazing boss that takes good care of his team and always supports us, even when we mess up. I respect him, not only as a boss, but as a person. I just got a divorce, so I'll be taking a break from dating for a while. I plan on focusing my all into my work and career, but I do hope that someday I meet someone great. Someone who can take care of the bugs himself this time.
My name is Nano, and I'm a 30-year-old office worker. This is Rena, my sister, who's 8 years younger than me. Who'd have thought that you'd become a mom first? Trust me, I'm just as surprised as you are. My younger sister didn't find a job after graduating college, and she was loosely working part-time jobs when she found out that she was pregnant. She had a shotgun wedding with her boyfriend and quit her part-time job to become a full-time housewife. My sister and I had a pretty large age gap between us, and because our mother passed away shortly after my sister was born, our father was never around to begin with. Our relationship was less like siblings, but more like a mother and daughter. My sister and her husband lived within walking distance from my house, and on her daily walks with her big belly, she would often come over to my house to visit. 2 months later, my sister gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. I can't wait to grow out her hair and be able to style her. She seemed really excited. Her husband was also thrilled, and despite both of them being quite young, they were going to be great parents. Or so I thought. 1 month after the baby was born, unforeseen circumstances changed everything. It all started one night just as I was about to crawl into bed with my husband. Rena? Calling at this time of night? Did something happen? Hello? Nano, help! Even through the phone, I could tell that my sister was in a state of panic. Rena, what's wrong? What's happened? Hannah, she's convulsing. Her entire body is convulsing and she's not responding to her name or anything. What? Have you called an ambulance? Nano, please help me. I'll be right there. Hang on. My sister didn't seem like she was able to call an ambulance, so I hung up and immediately called 911 first, before driving to her house with my husband. Nano! My niece Hannah was just as Rena had described. Her body was seizing and convulsing, and she had gone completely pale. Shortly after, we heard the ambulance arrive, and the 1-month-old Hannah was taken straight to hospital. We thought it might have been heat cramps, but after the hospital ran some tests, the doctor named a disease that none of us had ever heard of before.
We believe your daughter has Otahara epileptic syndrome.
Otahara epileptic syndrome? Otahara epileptic syndrome is a rare type of epilepsy seen in infants, usually in newborn babies within 3 months of birth. The main symptoms are seizures, more prominently in one part of the body or in clusters, and developmental challenges in both motor and cognitive functions. There's a treatment for this, right? She's gonna get better, right?
Unfortunately, the root cause for Otahara epileptic syndrome is still unknown, and there is yet to be a cure for it.
How can this be? From that day on, my sister's life made a 180 for the worse. For a while, she was going to her daughter's bedside in hospital every day, but when her husband found out about the baby's condition, his attitude suddenly changed. On the first day of Hannah's seizures, he was nowhere to be found, so I found that odd already, but it turns out he was doing very well that day, enjoying his night at his cheating partner's house.
Disabled? There's no way it's my child!
He threw down divorce papers and left the house. My sister became so depressed that she couldn't even go into hospital to see her own daughter. In the meantime, my husband and I would take turns to check on my sister and our niece, but even after Hannah was discharged from the hospital, my sister would always be at our house. When I thought about how she must be feeling, I could understand why she didn't want to be home alone, but her behaviour started to become worse and worse. Rena? Where are you right now? You just left Hannah alone. I told you I was going out tonight and I asked you to watch her for me. What time do you think it is? I never said I would watch her through the night. Like 1 a.m? Hurry up and come home now. I'm not coming home tonight. You know you did this too last week, staying out all night and coming home in the morning. And so what? You know I'm still 23 years old. I'm in my prime. Let me have some fun. What about Hannah, your daughter? You're there with her, so what's the issue? Oh, you idiot, you're her mother. You need to act like it. A girl with such a disability? She's not mine. I don't want her. What? How can you say that about your own baby? Everything was going well until we got married. I mean, I knew my husband was having fun outside, but he was so good to me at home. But then Hannah came along and everything went down the drain. My husband left me. She's never gonna get better, and she's way more work than any other kid. She ruined everything. Even then, she's your baby, a life you created. I never asked for this. You idiot, you stupid girl. I'm not gonna pretend like I know anything you're going through, but my husband and I are doing my best to support you because we love you and Hannah. You've been living out of our house and we've just let you. You know you're not alone in this. Anyway, you should just come home now. Nano, you can never understand how I feel, how much pain I'm in. Just leave me alone. Rena, if you want to act like such a perfect angel, then you can be Hannah's mom. Rena, pick up the phone. Rena! After that day, my sister blocked me and I wasn't able to get a hold of her. The next day, and the day after that, my sister left our daughter Hannah at our house and didn't come home. At that time, Hannah was still in her first year. With or without her condition, it's a period that's troublesome and requires a lot of attention from the mother. We had no choice but to do our best with raising Hannah, despite her mother being nowhere to be found. Up until she had disappeared, Rena had taken care of Hannah throughout the day, and in the mornings and nights my husband and I would help out. Once Rena was gone, it wasn't that simple. Luckily, both my husband and I had jobs that allowed us to work from home a few days a week, so with this help we were able to trade days being home with Hannah. I thought my sister would come to her senses in about a week, but 2 weeks went by, then 3 weeks, 1 month, and yet we didn't hear a word from her. Masayoshi, I'm so sorry. This was between my sister and me, but you've been roped into it too. You didn't ask to do this. My husband was a kind soul. He hated crooked people and had a strong sense of justice. He had been helping me out with this situation without a single complaint the entire time.
It's not your fault, Nano. You don't need to apologize.
Yeah, but it's my sister, and we don't even have a child of our own, and yet...
Nano, look!
My husband was brushing his hand through Hannah's hair as she slept calmly in his arms.
How could I be upset by a sweet little baby that's this cute?
My husband's warm smile and kindness brought me to tears.
I'm not going to say that I'm not angry. I can't believe that Rena would push all of the responsibility of being a mother onto you and disappear like this. But I guess she couldn't accept this, and she must have been struggling too.
Does that mean I should be able to forgive her?
I'm not resentful, but if she were to get into some kind of trouble, I don't think I would be willing to help her any further.
I agreed with my husband. He put it perfectly. In that moment, I fully decided to embrace the role of being Hannah's mother and formally asked my husband to help me raise Hannah as her parents. And I have nothing but gratitude for my amazing husband. 7 years went by. Hannah, let's dry your hair. My sister never returned, but she had always talked about growing out her daughter's hair, and I hand cut it, and now Hannah had beautiful long locks. Whenever I would dry her hair, Hannah would love it, and then I would tie her silky long hair into any hairstyle and show her in the mirror, and she would become even more happy. She is a little girl after all. Because Otahara epileptic syndrome delays the development of motor and cognitive functions, Hannah still can't walk or eat by herself. She struggles to chew her food and swallow, so we put the food in a blender to make it into a paste and spoon feed it to her. Making her food and feeding her, and making sure she takes all her medicine, takes about 2 hours in total. We repeat this 3 times a day, and on top of that, we need to accompany her to the bathroom and take baths with her too. I try to get through my work when she's napping in the day, or late at night when she's asleep. When I started looking after her, I was working from home half the week, but ever since I decided to become her mom, the company allowed me to work fully remote, and with my husband's help I did everything I could to raise Hannah. She may not have grown inside of me, but she still was completely my child. My husband and I didn't have children of our own, so I felt this was a destined sign from above, and I continued to pray for Hannah's happiness as we raised her as her parents. As for my sister that was somewhere in the wind, I'd heard a rumour sometimes that she would be back in town, but every single time, she would have a different man on her arm and disappear into the night. I had no intention of standing up for my sister, who had thrown away her own child, but at the same time, I couldn't understand why she was throwing away her own life like this after doing all this just to get her independence back. That being said, I wanted nothing to do with her anymore, and wasn't expecting to see her ever again. Just as I was feeling this way, an incident occurred. I heard a scream from Hannah, who should have been napping. Her voice pierced through the walls into the study where I was working. Hannah? It was a blood-curdling scream that was different to anything that I heard her before, and I got up and ran straight to her room. On my way there, standing there was none other than Rena. Hey there, long time no see. I couldn't believe it, but it was my younger sister Rena standing in the hallway. She immediately hid what she was holding in her hands behind her back, as her eyes started swimming to avoid eye contact. What do you think you're doing here, breaking into my house like this? Why are you here? As a mother, of course I'm gonna be worried about my daughter, and I'm gonna want to check on her, right? Your eyes are all over the place. Show me what you're hiding behind your back. It's nothing at all. Bye then. Hey, stop right there. Take this.
See ya.
Hannah. I was pulled back into reality by Hannah's wailing voice and ran into her room. What I saw there was a catastrophe. Hannah! Your hair! The hair that we had been growing so preciously for 7 years had been aggressively chopped off. Was that what she was hiding behind her back? It was Hannah's hair. But even then, why? Why would she do this? I went online to see if I could find anything, and the reason soon became clear. I noticed that the small electronics in my jewellery was missing from my house, which made me realise that my sister must be in need of money. That's right, my sister had come in to cut precious Hannah's hair so that she could sell it. The buying price was a few bucks at most. For just a few dollars. How could she?
No.
I couldn't take it anymore. I was so overcome with anger that I decided to file a police report for the stolen items in this incident. However, because this was a situation between family, and the person who cut her hair was her real mother after all, there wasn't much that could be done. I went home, and my husband and I decided to come up with a strategy in case she were ever to try something like this again. I got straight into action. But during that time, perhaps from the stress caused by my sister, I was starting to feel unwell and was often lying down.
No, let's go to the doctor.
But I don't have a fever or anything.
That's exactly why. What if it's something worse? I need you. I can't lose you. Then I won't be able to survive.
My husband convinced me to get out of bed, and we headed to the hospital together. I was shocked by the words that came out of my doctor's mouth. That same night, I heard from my sister. Hey, Nano, I've rang the doorbell so many times by now. Let me in. You have some nerve trying to contact me after everything you've done. Why are you so mad? Surely you can forgive me. It was just a cute little prank from your sister. A cute little prank. What part of chopping off my daughter's hair like that is cute? There's nothing cute about it, and it's certainly not a prank. It was so long. It must have been annoying for her anyway. How dare you? You clearly don't even remember what you said yourself when she was born. Huh? Did I say something? I don't recall. Whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. Anyway, what do you want? What are you doing here?
I was thinking I could stay the night here.
Nope.
Why not?
I can't even imagine being stuck under the same roof as a criminal who chopped off my daughter's precious hair. And I'm going to ask you once and only once. What did you do with that stuff you took without asking me?
Well, I guess you could say I don't have it with me right now.
Pawn shop, huh?
Oh, how'd you know?
I had heard little whispers that you were struggling with money anyway.
Well, those whispers were a few steps ahead. Hey, Nano, you don't have to let me inside the house, but at least let me borrow some money.
Nope.
Why not? You know I can't even get a meal for myself today.
That's not my problem. Why don't you get a job and earn some money then?
I was working part-time, you know, but, well, it wasn't really going anywhere.
Well, if you're clearly trading a different man day after day, surely they wouldn't be too happy about it either.
No, that's not it. I did have a lot of partners, but they all ended up getting married to their real partners, and now I'm left alone.
Don't be so arrogant.
Hey, you know how you're still looking after Hannah for me? If you're able to look after a kid with a disability, then surely I'll be easier to take care of and you can look after one more able-bodied person.
At that moment, I felt something snap inside of me. That's enough! Are you kidding me?
Don't be so mad, you know it's the truth.
Hannah, the daughter that you threw away, despite having a disability where she can't do a lot of things on her own, she smiles every single day and tries her best to live a positive and happy life. You have no idea how hard it's been for us, and for her, but you've also no idea how rewarding and amazing it's been to see her smile like that, and you'll never understand it, will you? And yet, you, with fully capable arms and legs, you have the ability to do whatever you want, and yet all you care about is yourself and your money. You're just a parasite who leeches onto people, and don't you dare compare your pathetic self with my daughter like that.
Are you trying to tell me I'm beneath that girl?
It's not even a comparison. I wouldn't dare disrespect my daughter by comparing her to you. By all things, you're not my sister anymore. You're not my family, and I want nothing to do with you. Go and survive on your own.
But you can't do this to me. I need money. How am I supposed to live? Until you give me some money, I'm gonna stay here right in front of your house and make your life hell. Wait, why are the police here?
Of course they're here.
Did you call the police, Nano?
Perhaps it was the neighbours, because we don't live there anymore.
What?
We moved, so that we'd never be bothered by you again.
You're joking, right? Where did you move?
As if I would ever tell you.
No, I hate this. Nano, stop joking with me. You're the only person I can rely on. You're all I have.
And Hannah had only you to rely on as a newborn baby, and yet you threw her away. I have absolutely no intention of helping a piece of trash like you.
What? How could you? I'm gonna be arrested. Nano, help me.
What goes around comes around, Rena, and this is what you get for being so selfish. Figure it out yourself.
No!
Rena was then taken away by the police and brought in for questioning. She wasn't arrested for any crimes, and was released shortly after, but things only got worse from there. Apparently, after Rena had thrown away her daughter and ran away from us, she actually reunited with her ex-husband, the one that threw them both away, and they got together in a domestic partnership. They had some confusing relationship where they could mess about as much as they wanted whilst living together. But then she found out that her ex-husband used her name to borrow money from some scary people before disappearing into thin air. My sister had nowhere else to turn to, and that's when she came back to us. In the end, both my sister and her ex-husband were caught by those scary people, and now they're working side by side. Happily ever after? From morning until night until they pay back that debt. I wonder if they'll ever see the light of day again. As for me and my family... Look, Sakura, this is your sister. Hannah, that's your little sister Sakura. The reason I had been feeling unwell was actually from morning sickness. Now my daughter was born safely, and we're a happy family of 4. Hannah was also so excited to welcome her younger sister. Some people may worry that our love for Hannah would thin out after giving birth to a child of our own, but that would never be the case. Nothing can change the fact that both Sakura and Hannah are my 2 precious daughters, and I'm so excited to continue growing as a family of 4.
My name is Sumika Mikazuki. I am a 27-year-old office worker. Even at this age, I am already divorced. This is the story about the time that I was young and dumb and rushed into a marriage with an absolute scumbag of a man. Ladies, this is your reminder, don't ever be fooled by a man who is nothing but his looks.
That Mr. Takahashi who just got back from the New York branch office is really hot, don't you think?
He's good looking, and he's good at his job, and he's got a nice energy about him too. I've never met someone like him who looks like he's straight out of a teenage rom-com.
I know, right? Do you think he has a girlfriend?
I mean, he's that much of a catch, I'm sure he does. I bet she's also super pretty, and a successful career woman good at her job just like him.
Yeah, I can picture it already. Either that, or he's with a very ladylike, graceful, and elegant woman who's the daughter of a really rich family or something.
That's definitely a possibility too. Either way, to us, he's like the unattainable flower. He's so far out of our league.
I guess so. I hate to admit it, but you're right.
It's a privilege enough just to be able to look at him.
Really is. Anyway, I guess we should get back to work.
You're right, let's go. Mr. Takahashi, the super elite man who just came back from the New York branch office, was admired by all of the women in the company. However, because he was in a different department, there was no reason he should even know that I exist, and I just admired him from afar, along with every other female employee. Plus, he was so far out of my league that I couldn't possibly picture myself dating someone like that. However, as fate would have it, I became very close to Mr. Takahashi. The reason for that was on a rainy day when I walked past the park near the office. Oh, Mr. Takahashi?
What? Oh, hi, your name is,
Mikazuki. I'm Sumika Mikazuki. I work in the General Affairs Department.
Ah, yes, that's right, Miss Mikazuki. I'm sorry, I'm not that good with names, especially for people outside of my department.
No worries at all. More importantly, what happened there? Is that a dog? Is that a stray dog? Or did someone perhaps abandon them there?
Yes, exactly. I couldn't just leave him here alone, you know?
Who would do such a thing? Abandoning a dog like that in the rain. The poor thing.
Seriously, how awful.
Have you been standing here in the rain this whole time because you were worried about this abandoned dog?
Yes, exactly.
Mr. Takahashi, you have such a kind heart.
But my apartment doesn't allow pets, so there's nothing I can do for him.
I see. Well, then I'm going to take him home with me.
What? Really? Are you sure?
Yes. Oh, don't worry. I'm not just doing this without thinking about it. I'll be sure to take him to the vet to get checked out, and I'll get everything ready at home to welcome a dog. I love dogs. I could never just leave him like this. I had one growing up too, so please don't worry.
I see. Well, thank you very much. I'm sure this little guy will be really happy too.
Mr. Takahashi, you're talking about him like he was yours already.
No, no. It was just a short while, but while I was standing here, I got a little bit attached, you know?
Well, in that case, then please feel free to come over to my house anytime you want to see the dog.
That's true. Thank you.
Oh, look, he has a collar around his neck with a name written on it. Let's see. Turns out his name is Maru.
Interesting. Maru, huh?
Little Maru, you're going to have a happy home now. On my way home, I stopped at the convenience store to buy dog food, and I brought him back to my house. I gave him a bath, and when I gave him the food, he ate it within seconds. It didn't seem like he was sick or weak in any way, so he must have been abandoned very recently. I couldn't believe that someone would leave a dog this cute out on the streets like that. The next day, I took him to the vet, and after running a few tests, we found out that there was nothing wrong with him. He was a healthy, normal dog, and I decided to become a family with him at my house.
Little Maru, I'm here to play with you.
It's amazing how much he likes you already.
Wow, so cute.
Isn't he the cutest? I've already become one of those annoying parents that's obsessed with their pet.
No, I wasn't talking about the dog. I was talking about you being cute.
What? Oh, sheesh. I guess things are done really differently in America. I'm flattered, even if it was just a joke.
I wasn't trying to flatter you, that's truly how I feel. To be honest, ever since you said that you were going to take Maru home with you, I've been thinking about what a kind and lovely person you are.
Mr. Takahashi.
Sumika, will you go out with me?
What? You, Mr. Takahashi, wants to go out with me?
Yes, and if you wouldn't mind, with marriage in mind, too.
Wait a minute, please. I'm really happy about this, but we really don't know anything about each other.
Well, we can always get to know each other after we get married. I promise to make you happy. I will always make sure that you don't regret marrying me.
Mr. Takahashi. In that moment, my mind had gone blank, because I was just so excited to be proposed to by someone like Mr. Takahashi. The usual thought process of, will a marriage with 0 days of dating go well? You have to get to know the other person first. Just start with dating. Any logical thinking or concerns went right out the window. If you're okay with me, then yes, it would be my pleasure.
The pleasure is all mine.
This almost feels like a dream, and I definitely don't want to wake up. What did I do to deserve this happiness?
My heart is racing too. This little guy is the Cupid of our love story.
That's true. I'm sure Maru is feeling just as happy about being able to live with you. And just like that, I was engaged to by Mr. Takahashi. We went to meet each other's parents and decided that we would move in together to his place. It turns out he lived in a fairly big place already and had a spare room anyway. Despite knowing what a catch he was, I was still surprised when he brought me to his luxury apartment. I get to live in this amazing place?
Of course! We can talk about our new home and our future from here. Who knows, we might even have a child join us soon too.
Yes!
Miss Mikazuki, congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you very much.
Who could have guessed that you would get married to that Taru Takahashi from the planning department?
Surprise, I guess. Sorry about that.
No, don't be silly, this is great. But wow, Miss Mikazuki, you must be on cloud 9, well done.
Seriously, it's such a shock. Sumika, it all happened so fast, didn't it? I don't know. Things just moved so fast that before I knew it, we were married. 3 months, right? Yup, that's right. That's a crazy fast marriage. Are you sure you're okay? Yeah, Mr. Takahashi is so nice too.
He looks like a model. He's super elite and he's nice?
Yeah, he doesn't have any cons.
But still, do people that perfect really exist?
That's the thing. It looks like I found one.
How is that possible?
When I saw him staring at that abandoned dog in the rain, I felt like it was fate.
I can only imagine. It truly sounds like a fairy tale.
I know, right?
I'm sorry to butt into this exciting conversation, but Miss Mikazuki, will you be resigning from the company now that you're married?
No, I plan on continuing to work even though I'm married.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. We look forward to continuing working with you.
Same here, thank you for having me. Within 3 months, I had scored the jackpot by marrying Mr. Takahashi. In our luxury high-rise apartment, my new family life began with my husband Taro and little Maru. At that time, I could only see my life through rose-colored glasses, and I had no doubts that I was going to have the most romantic, newlywed life. But that dream came crumbling down in no time. Taro, I have drinks with my department after work today, so I'll be getting home late.
That's fine, but what about my dinner?
I'm going to go straight after work today, so can you just eat something on your own today?
What? What do you mean something? Then there's no point in getting married.
No point getting married?
Yeah, I mean, isn't it a given that the wife should be preparing the husband's dinner?
I couldn't help but to scrunch my face at his words. In this day and age, I was shocked that a man could say something like that with a straight face.
Anyway, from now on, whenever you're going to be coming home late, make sure that you prepare it before you go to work.
Sure, okay.
I guess I'll tolerate it for today. I guess I'll eat something on my way home then.
Yeah, okay. Thanks. To be honest, I wanted to say, you know I'm working too, but I held my tongue. Since I was able to marry someone so far out of my league, I figured I could tolerate the slight patriarchal comments from him. When I think about it now, I guess this is what they call love is blind, or rather, blinding, and I couldn't see straight. Well, maybe this means I should become a full-time housewife, but I like working too. Hey Maru, what do you think? However, this was only the beginning of Taro's patriarchy, and it was all downhill at a horrifically fast speed from there.
I'm home!
Welcome back. Dinner is ready.
I don't need dinner today.
What? Oh, really? Did you eat on the way home already?
No, I haven't been feeling well. I don't have an appetite.
What? Are you okay?
I'm feeling pretty feverish, you know?
Really? Here, a thermometer. Why don't we take your temperature?
Yeah, might as well.
Well, what does it say?
Ah, shoot!
What?
It's 100 degrees!
100 degrees? Well, maybe if you get some rest it'll go down?
What are you saying? It's 100 degrees! I could die!
Well, okay. I understand that.
My regular body temperature is low, so this hits me way harder than most people.
I see. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Does anything else hurt or feel bad besides your fever? Like any body aches or a cough or anything? You never know, but there's a chance it could also be influenza.
Yeah, that's true. Right now there's nothing in particular besides the fever.
Anyway, you should take some medicine, and it's probably best to rest up a bit for now.
It's an emergency! Call an ambulance!
Okay. I don't think that's necessary.
Do you not care what happens to me? When there are people out there who die because they think that it was just a cold?
Well, look, if we call an ambulance, it'll alarm all the neighbors too.
True, that's true.
Anyway, just get lots of rest for now. Keep your body warm. Let's make sure you're drinking plenty of water.
But I need to go to the hospital.
Why don't you get a good rest tonight, and we can go first thing tomorrow morning?
Well, I guess you're right. I feel so terrible today I can barely move, so...
Exactly. Taro, you can go lay down in the bed and get some rest. I'll make you some porridge now. I'll put an egg in it and make it extra healthy for you.
Sure.
From there, I acted like his mother and did everything I could to make him feel better. But he had a normal appetite and he was able to hold conversations as usual. No matter how you looked at it, there was no need for him to go to the hospital. After he finished eating, I gave him some medicine and tucked him into bed. Does a grown adult man need this much care and nursing for a slight fever? I felt like I was taking care of a small child. But my rose-colored glasses hadn't faded, and I still looked at Taro like he was a dream. It's only fair that anybody would get nervous when they get sick and would want to be taken care of. I left it at that. Good morning. Has your fever gone down?
No, it's still at 99.5! I'm gonna take the day off of work.
Well, I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. I'll prepare some lunch before I go to work, so you can stay in bed and get some rest.
Excuse you? What are you saying?
Huh? What do you mean?
You need to take the day off of work too!
What? Why?
You're gonna leave your sick husband at home alone and go to work? There must be something wrong with you.
But your temperature is in the 90s, right? It's gone down quite a bit since yesterday. It's just a slight fever.
Like I said, my average body temperature is low. Don't make me tell you that so many times.
Yes, but I don't think I can take the day off of work for that.
What are you gonna do if my situation takes a turn for the worst and it becomes an emergency?
Taro was so angry that he looked like he was going to hit me in any moment. I got scared, so I decided to do as he says and take the day off of work.
Also, I want egg porridge and ice cream. You better not forget the fever patches too.
Okay, let me contact the office and then I'll go out to buy them. Hello, this is Sumika Mikazuki from the General Affairs Department.
Ah, Miss Mikazuki. What's the matter?
I'm very sorry for the last minute notice. Would it be possible to take paid leave today?
Sure, but what happened?
My husband isn't feeling well and...
What, Taro? Is he okay?
Yes, it's absolutely nothing to worry about.
But if it's enough that you also need to take the day off of work, then it must be pretty bad, right?
He's had a fever since yesterday, and he also asked me to stay home, so I thought it might be best for me to be with him today.
Fever? Is it over 100 degrees? Wait a minute, is it an illness that you can't really talk about with other people?
No, not at all.
That makes me even more worried.
He's fine. His temperature is still in the 90s. Since his body temperature is generally low, though, it seems like he's really struggling.
Huh? In the 90s?
I'm very sorry.
Well, I'm glad it doesn't sound like anything serious. Take care, both of you.
Of course it isn't. It's not like he's a newborn baby, so why should a grown adult have to take the entire day off of work for a fever in the 90s? And even have a wife take the day off of work, too. Around this time, the rose-colored glasses were finally fading, and the blinding magic of love towards my husband was starting to melt away. Now that I think about it, I ended up marrying Taro without knowing him very well. Maybe I went with the flow too much. Taro had his lunch and was sleeping like a pig, so I was bored with nothing to do, and I decided to check his social media. Oh, I found his Instagram! Aw, this is a photo from our first date. How nostalgic. I didn't know that he had uploaded it. Hashtag my beautiful girlfriend. Hashtag happiest man in the world. How sweet. Aw, despite all of this, I guess he does really love me. Or so I thought, just in the beginning. As I started scrolling down and looking at his past posts, I found a shocking photo uploaded on his account. What? This dog that Taro is cuddling isn't that Maru? And this is a photo posted 2 years ago. What does this mean? That's right, a few months ago, when I found Taro staring at the abandoned dog in the rain, I thought he was trying to save that poor dog and feeling sorry for it. In reality, he was the one that was about to leave his dog in the pouring rain. I can't believe this. How is this possible?
Phew, it's finally gone down to 98. Although for someone with a low body temperature like mine, it's still a fever.
I see. Well, that's good. Don't forget to take your medicine at night, though.
Good points. I want to have some udon for dinner tonight.
Okay, sure. After I saw his social media, I was in such a state of shock that I barely remembered what we talked about. By the time I realized, I was already under the blanket and my pillow was wet from my tears.
Sumika, are you okay? You're looking a little pale today.
Oh, I didn't really sleep that well last night.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Hey, we should at least take your temperature just in case. I'll go borrow a thermometer, so wait here.
Sorry, thanks.
Whoa, you're over 100 degrees!
Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry.
Boss, Miss Mikazuki has a high fever, so please let her go home early today.
What did you say? That's not good. Go home now and get some rest at home.
Yes. You need to go home and rest up.
Everyone, I am so sorry. Thank you very much.
Please take care.
I got a fever at work today, so I left early. I won't be able to make dinner tonight. I'm sorry, but please eat out on your way home.
Okay, sure.
Oh, Taro, you're home. Welcome back.
Yeah, just got home.
Did you have dinner?
Didn't have a choice, so I ate out before coming home.
I see, thanks. Even though I told him that I was sick, he didn't bring home any drinks or medicine or anything at all for me, nor did he seem worried at all. But I guess I was the idiot for being hopeful, because this is the kind of guy that he is.
Anyway, how many degrees is your fever?
When I took it at work, it was about 100, but I'm going to take my temperature again now.
What? 100 degrees?
For a brief moment, I thought he was actually worried about me, but then he said something that made me question if I was hearing properly.
You better not pass that to me!
What?
Actually, I can't be around you if you might be contagious, so I'm gonna stay at my parents' tonight.
Oh, okay.
Ugh, give me a break. See ya.
And so toddler Taro, left me alone with my high temperature and swiftly packed a bag and walked out the door back to his parents' house. As I laid in bed at home, my fever kept rising, and I felt like I was fading in and out of consciousness. This might not be a normal fever, I thought, so I prayed and put my hope in my husband as I set him an SOS. I can wait until you're done with work, but can you take me to the hospital today?
I can't today! We have an after-work drinking party with all the departments together tonight.
I have a fever of 104.
Your body must be fighting the virus, so you're gonna be okay. I'm sure it'll just go down eventually.
This is our first cross-department drinking party in a long time, so everyone please be sure not to get too carried away.
Of course, we know. Wait, is that... Mr. Takahashi is here.
Oh yeah, he is. Does that mean that Miss Mikazuki is doing better now? This morning, she sounded like she was dying when she called me to see if she had a fever of 104.
104?
He shouldn't be at a drinking party right now when his wife is home sick. What nerve he has.
I am going to go ask him about it. Mr. Takahashi?
Oh, you're Sumika's friend. Thank you for always hanging out with her.
How is Sumika doing? I heard she was really sick. Is she okay now?
It seems like she has a fever, but I'm sure she's fine. She's an adult after all.
She said it was 104 degrees though.
They say that your fever goes up when your body is fighting the virus, so I'm sure that she'll be fine pretty soon. Plus, look, she has enough energy to keep on calling me this many times.
Excuse me? This many missed calls?
If she has enough energy to call me, then it must mean that she's feeling fine, right?
Are you kidding me? I can't believe you! What nerve do you have to be here right now?
What?
Taro, this is unacceptable, especially when Miss Mikazuki was taking care of you when you had a fever of 98.
No, you see, I have a low average body temperature.
Excuse you, but regardless of your average body temperature, anything over 100 degrees is high for anybody. If anything, a fever that high could mean something really serious. That could be even putting her life on the line.
Really? What?
Boss, please excuse me. I'm going to go check on Sumika.
Yes, please do. Let me know how she's doing.
What's wrong, little Maru?
Sumika, are you okay? Open up. Open the door. Are you alive? Hey, Sumika. In my hazy state, I could faintly hear Lila calling my name in the distance. It's Lila. I mustered whatever strength that I could to drag myself to the front door lock, and when I finally came to, I was laying in a hospital bed. Sumika! Thank goodness! Lila, and Mom and Dad, what are you guys doing here? The company called them for you.
Sumika, it turns out that you had pneumonia.
If you were left alone much longer, they said your life could have been at risk.
Miss Lila, thank you. Thank you so much.
What the hell is Taro doing? When his wife is in this state and we can't even get a hold of him?
I spoke to my colleagues and it turns out he got too drunk at the after party and is fast asleep.
Are you kidding me? He's got another thing coming to him when he wakes up.
I can't let my precious daughter be with a piece of crap like that! You need to come back home to our house immediately. I really think that you should get a divorce.
You don't have to tell me twice. I was already going to. Even I've reached my limit on how much I can take. Shortly after, I served him with the divorce papers. Toddler Taro couldn't figure out why I was divorcing him all the way until the end. I was starting to think that he might be a psychopath of sorts. It made sense though, because his parents also came after me, saying that I was never a worthy wife to begin with and throwing other random insults my way. I didn't care though, because I received plenty of money in the settlement and decided to take some time for myself. It wasn't until I was released of Toddler Taro that I realized how much stress I was carrying in the marriage, and now that I've gotten divorced from him, I feel infinitely better. For what it's worth, his image at work came down crashing too. Rumors quickly spread of how he left his wife with pneumonia at home alone while he was getting drunk at a work event, and that he had tried to abandon his dog in the pouring rain on the street. How did those rumors spread, you ask? Well, I did vent to Lila about everything, so that was the only source that I can think of. But everyone saw what happened at the drinking party anyway, and it was all the truth. He was simply getting what he deserved. I heard that he ended up quitting because nobody respected him anymore. To this day, though, I bet he still doesn't understand the reason for all of this, or what he did wrong. As for me, after the divorce, I'm happily living with little Maru. I'm not gonna stay at my parents' house forever, so I've been looking for pet-friendly apartments nearby. That was the only good thing to come out of marrying Toddler Taro, was that I was able to find my real family in Maru. Even if I were to get married again, I need to live with them for a minimum of 1 year before tying the knot. At the end of the day, it was a good lesson to be learned. On to the next.